Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Our topic is an alternative of introducing student voice framework for the GCSE. This is our group members, Liu Ru, Lin Yun, Ni Yurong, and Shang Wanqing. Our presentation consists of 6 parts. First, an introduction to GCSE. Secondly, the characteristics of GCSE and background to development. Thirdly, core problem of GCSE. Fourth, student voice framework. Fifth, implementation and evaluation of student voice framework. And then the last part is conclusion. Now let's take a look at the introduction. What is the GCSE? GCSE is an abbreviation for the General Certificate of Secondary Education. It is an academic qualification generally taken at age 16. It is designed to assess a student's academic achievement at secondary school level. GCSE is a part of the national curriculum in England and is an important reference for entry to senior secondary school, further education, or employment. It covers a wide range of subjects including English, mathematics, science, history, geography, foreign languages, art, music, physical education, and social science. Students can choose to take different GCSE courses and customize their study plans according to their interests and future career plans. Next is characteristics of GCSE. We can see first modularization. Each course usually consists of several modules, and the students may sit for the examinations of these modules separately, or they may choose to combine the results of all the modules into a composite result. This modularized examination arrangement allows more flexibility for students to study and be assessed according to their own learning progress. The second is the grading system. For GCSE, students' grades are usually expressed in 8 grades: A+, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, with A+ being the highest and G the lowest. This grading system makes students' performance more differentiated and comparable. Next, background to development. The General Certificate of Education was first introduced in 1951. The notion of a single subject examination, as distinct from the old school's certificate, which requires candidates to pass in a group of subjects, reflected the widely held belief that individual children possessed different aptitudes and that the curriculum in schools should both recognize and provide for such differences. In the early examination reform centered largely around the 20% deemed capable of achieving GCO levels in 5 or more subjects. Those selected for grammar schools to ensure for them a passport to higher education. But the single subject education examination was intended to reflect individual differences, give scope for individual talents, and allow for a differentiated curriculum rather than the group or core mentality underlying the old school certificate. The GCE certainly got off the ground as a successful single-subject examination. No one of any standing within the education fraternity seemed to quarrel with the fact that the universities continued to have the major say in what the schools should examine, with the examination boards based on Oxford and Cambridge leading the field, at least in the public eye. But London University and the Joint Matriculation Board in the North, being senior partners in a firmly entrenched examination establishment. The newly founded Associated Examining Board broke new ground in offering GCEO and A-level subjects not only in the conventional subjects taught in schools, but also examine subjects with a vocational flavor, such as engineering, technical drawing, and commerce. Usually taught in further education colleges, the Associated Examining Board wasn't directly associated with, nor controlled by any university, and was immediately popular with technical schools and further education establishments, subsequently gaining considerable ground in schools which, like its new look, GCE, symbolized. But the most remarkable feature of the new GCO level examination was its success with employees. The idea that it was to be a preparation for the limited number of students proceeding to higher education, mainly via the A-level route, was quickly abandoned in favor of the GCE being considered a passport to good jobs. One employee after another and multiplicity of public and private institutions demanded and accepted GCEO level passes, usually in 5 subjects, always including English and mathematics, as the hallmark of a successfully complete secondary education at 16. As pressure built up for more and more candidates to take the GCE in those schools, so the unsuitability of an examination designed for the top 20% became painfully obvious. More and more pupils were entered, often with little chance of success. Far from wanting to be free from the shackles of external examinations, the schools reflecting the aspiration of pupils themselves and parents and the desires of teachers, wanted both the incentive within and the passport without. This led to the establishment of a large number of different examinations available for school pupils. The Chamber of Commerce and City Guides certificates are the certificates awarded by the Union of Educational Institutions, met the need for those who had an emergent vocational aim, but not for others. This emerged a vast number of local certificates all over the country, designed and administered by teachers in their own schools, with the support of local education authorities. These were usually designed by groups of local schools and bore the title of the locality. the Luton proficiency certificates. These developments demonstrated the need for the availability of an examination which was nationally recognized but easier to pass than the difficult GCE O-levels. Thus, it prepared the way for the emergence of the Certificate of Secondary Education examination, following the report of Baylor Committee. The report of the Baylor Committee was accepted by the government in 1962 and was hailed as a piece of major education reform. Some of the features of the GCE were inevitably reproduced in CSE. The secondary school curriculum was subject oriented and it followed that the new examination had to be a single subject examination. Similarly, the idea that an examination could only be passed but some pupils were still well entrenched, so that a target group had to be identified. This target group was seen at the 40% below the 20%, being currently prepared for the GCE O-level examination, so that some 60% of the school population now had access to nationally recognized certification, but CSE pioneered a number of new features which aren't clearly reflected in the new General Certificate of Secondary Education, what is GCSE, to be available from 1988.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Liu Ru. Next, I will introduce you the core problem of GCSE. The GCSE curriculum faces substantial challenges in adapting to the changing educational and professional landscape. These hurdles including limited subject choices, regional disparities in assessment, and school regulations significantly impact students' experiences. Addressing these issues is vital to equip students with the adaptive skills necessary for higher education and future careers, ensuring they thrive in evolving environments. Okay, next is specific issues. It consists of four parts, which I will introduce you to the next. The first one, limited subject choices. Efforts to broaden subject options at K Stage 4 in Northern Ireland and Wales haven't fully eased students' challenges with subject choices. Despite attempts to diversify choices, students remain dissatisfied due to perceived limitations imposed by national policies and school practices. Students feel constrained by compulsory subjects like learning for life and work and Welsh language, advocating for more autonomy. Rigid subject columns further restrict their choices, leading to a sense of disregard for their preferences. Okay, the second one is inequality in assessment techniques. Students know that GCSE qualification holds a varying worth across UK regions due to curriculum and assessment differences. This disparity can impact future opportunities in education and employment. Education policy differences have led to varying assessment methods, raising concerns about fairness. Students worry about standards differences between regions and how it affects their future prospects. Okay, the next one is navigating challenges in GCSE tutoring. The GCSE curriculum is profoundly influenced by students' choice of exam tier. creating several challenges. Students face limitations in moving between tiers, impacting their potential for improvement due to curriculum differences. Strategies employed by schools, such as placing students in different exams, escalate workload and restrict their pursuit of advanced subjects. Ensuring accurate tiering information is essential as students often misunderstand grade ranges. Furthermore, tiering affects teachers' early assessment, potentially limiting student attainment for formal exams. Okay, the last one is concerned about modularity and linearity. Students experience challenges with early entry into modules, such as difficulty understanding subjects, increased workload, and limited choices. They appreciate a focused and manageable workload of modular courses, but value the comprehensive understanding provided by linear courses. Students strongly desire the freedom to choose between these structures, believing it significantly impacts their performance and workload. Okay, lastly, concluding thoughts. Studies challenge the idea that students shouldn't have a say in school policies and curriculum decisions. Students advocate for involvement in national, school, and individual level decisions on subjects, curriculum structures, and assessments. They seek participation in national decisions to ensure their interests are considered in exam development. At the school level, they want a voice in choosing subjects and course formats. Additionally, students aim for decision making power in their assessments. Empowering students in these decisions could reshape perspectives on curriculum, inequality, and subject choice. But it requires a flexible system, respecting student autonomy and encouraging dialogue between students and teachers about their GCSE and subject preferences. Okay, that's all my part. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lin Yun. Okay, according to Liu Yu's conclusion of the core problem in GCSE, this alternative aims to explore how the curriculum of GCSE can be redesigned to increase student participation and empowerment in decision-making processes at different levels. To address this issue, our alternative proposes a student voice framework (SVF) for the GCSE, which provides opportunities and structures for students to express their opinions, preferences, and feedback on various aspects of the curriculum. SVF is based on the principles of democratic education, which involve creating a culture of dialogue and collaboration among students, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders in schools. Next are several scholars' explanations of student voice. Through increasing student voice in schools, students have the potential for contributing their opinions on a variety of levels, including sharing their views on problems and potential solutions in their schools. Such initiatives have served as a catalyst for change in schools, including helping to improve teaching curriculum and teacher-student relationships. The notion of student voice or a student role in the decision-making and change efforts of schools have emerged in the new millennium as a potential strategy for improving the success of school reform efforts. The term student voice is a broad in definition and which refers to the wide variety of work taking place in schools which involves students having a say in aspects of their school lives which affect them. So students' voice is students actively participating in decision making at school on things which shapes their educational experiences. It is more than just students having a say and being heard. To be successful, students' voice must value the perspectives and opinions of students and act on them in a way that generally shapes learning and decision making at school. Robson and Taylor argued that students' voice practice is based on four core values. Number one, a conception of communication as dialogue. This principle recognizes that communication is not just an exchange of information, but also a process of creating meaning and understanding among people. Communication as dialogue involves listening actively, asking questions, sharing opinions, giving feedback, and respecting different perspectives. By practicing communication as dialogue, students can develop their critical thinking skills, their social awareness skills, and their collaborative skills. These skills are essential from students' various work in schools. Number two, the requirement for participation and democratic inclusivity. Some schools may only listen to those students who are articulate, able, or who share their cultural capital, while ignoring those who have different backgrounds, perspectives, or experiences. This can create a sense of exclusion and inequality among students from low social classes or linguistic minorities. Moreover, some schools may not listen to students at all, but rather impose their own views of agenda on them. This can undermine students' autonomy and agency in their own learning. Therefore, schools need to rethink how they involve students in student voice work. They need to ensure that they listen to all students with curiosity, respect and curiosity, that they value diversity and differences as sources of learning and creativity, and that they empower students to have a say in matters that affect them. Number three, the recognition that power relations are unequal and problematic. This value requires us to be aware of both the opportunities and the challenges for achieving it. By exploring the different theoretical perspectives on power, we can better understand and facilitate the possibilities for transformation. Student voice work is about understanding that power is part of all social interactions and that some social groups have more or better ways to communicate and influence than others. The main goal of students' voice work is to help students to have the same voice as others in school and not let the power stop them. Number four, the possibility for change and transformation. Student voice work is about hearing what students say about their opinions, ideas, feelings, and experiences. But it is not enough to just hear them. It is also important to do something with what they say. Transformation is an important part of student voice work, and schools need to be ready to change because of what students say. Student voice work is meaningful when students want to work in a democratic way. They need to do more than just ask students what they think. They need to try to make students part of the change. Okay, next is the benefits of having a whole school approach to student voice. Number one, students and teachers design solutions together. It means it can enable students and teachers to collaborate and co-create solutions into the problems and the issues that affect their school. For example, by involving students in the planning, implementation, and evaluation of curriculum, teachers can gain insights and feedback from students on how to improve their teaching and learning. By engaging students in the development and the review of the school policies and practices, teachers can ensure that they are responsive and relevant to the needs and interests of students. Number two, creates a positive environment and culture. It means that it can create a positive environment and a culture in the school where students and teachers feel valued, respected, and empowered. For example, by promoting students' democracy, diversity, and dialogue, the school can foster a culture of mutual trust, respect, and understanding among different groups and perspectives. By encouraging students' recognition, reward, and celebration, the school can foster a culture of achievement, excellence, and pride among students and teachers. Number three, increase engagement in learning. It means that it can increase students' engagement in learning by making the curriculum more relevant, interesting, and challenging for students. For example, by providing students with voice and choice in their learning, such as selecting their subjects, course, and assessments, the school can cater to the interests, goals, and abilities of students. By providing students with opportunities to work together and influence their learning, such as through project-based learning, peer tutoring, or mentoring, the school can enhance the skills and knowledge of students. The last one is develop personal and social capabilities. It means it can develop the personal and social capabilities of students such as self-confidence, self-efficiency, self-regulations, communications, and collaboration and leadership. For example, by participating in student voice practice, such as surveys, interviews, focal groups, and communities, students can learn to listen to and respect the views of others by taking on roles and responsibilities in student voice activities, such as planning, facilitating, or representing. Students can develop their leadership, problem solving, and decision making skills. Okay, that's all for my part. Now, let's invite my partner Wan Qin to introduce how to implement SVF for GCSE. Thank you very much.
Hi, so next we will introduce the implementation of evaluation. And step one began with an in-depth needs analyze and flexibility study to determine the IVP and of the outcomes. This step involved collecting data on the characteristic of students taking GCSE and adaptation of assessment techniques and assessment structure for the countries and assessments of the GCSE structure and resource and capacity inherent needs in the school and teaching involved in GCSE implementation. And per a tunnels of the SVP in the GCSE context, assessing the overall pupils and the defeat. The combine this assessment and analyze provides the basis for informed decision making. Strategic planning in implementation FVP in the unique context of GCSE education. The resource of students and staff involved in GCSE and the level of competence need to be considered. Research study can be conducted using questionnaires, interview forms, and the next stage, step 2, involved the development of a program and budget to develop. This stage will involve the defining the overall goals and objectives of the SVP. It's assigning the roles and the responsibility, understanding a clear timeline and the budget for the implementation plan. This step require careful selection and design with identified student choice. Those choices are designed basics on through the analysis and assessment from the data or from the evaluation in the other steps. Step 2. Then ensuring that the SVP is aligned with the real need and perceptives of the students' body. And the next step is involved the establishing a strong teams and the detailed timetable for implement the FYP within the GCSE domains. This key step involved the formation of the string comments and work or the work group and a skilled monitoring and the evaluation team, each of which have been assigned specific roles and responsibility. The layering Luguantis is responsible for overseeing and guidance the implementation of the FYP. And the work team are responsibility for implementing, providing by tools, support, and guidance to students and staff. The monitoring and evaluation teams collects and reviews data and evidence relating to students' outcomes. The teams provide valuable feedback and recommendation to the steering committee and working groups. And the last stage is stage 4. Focus on the providing training and support to the staff and then the students on using of the FYP for the GCSE. This involved developing and use the training models and educational materials. Those models include guidance on technology and software and management and assignment methods, inhering GCSE. It also includes factoring and e-commerce range and recognize the students' values. And the final step is revising the implementation of the SVF for the GCSE. This stage includes both formative and summative evaluation, which can be done through various qualitative and quantitative methods. These methods cover in-depth interviews and also include careful observation and testing. And the next part is SVIF evaluation. The assessment section focuses on describing the methods and the tools for assessing the implementation of the SVP in GCSE, include the calculation and analyze of qualitative and quantitative data, and the use of formative and summative assessment. And first, a server should be administered to collect the data, qualitative data, for the develop and the distribution of standard service and to students before and after SVP implementation. The focus should be on their perceptions of GCSE, and scores will then evaluation and qualitative data on GCSE assignments scored collected before and after the implementation for the SVP will combine the analyze to determine within the FVF hand help students to meet their needs and studies in line with the origins arms, and also select the suitable students from different backgrounds and organize focus groups meeting with students to explore the perceptions and the experience related to the GCSE after SVF. And educator need to record and transcribe this discussion for the analyze and conduct interviews with the students, teachers, managers to detailed in the impact of SVF. In combination with their focus group meeting, combating interviews become a key component of those understanding the impact of the SVP. And the next one, formative and summative assessment is an important part during SVP, and this adaptive approach ensures that any engaging in use or optimization and are indefinite mid-term reports offer progress and informing strong strategy adjustment as required. And this final report at a very useful choice of evaluation fundings, and those three dimensions the valuation fundings, providing the flexible for the FVP efficacy within the GCSE framework. And for example, and also in the GCSE, we have seen some advantage and disadvantage. For example, students expect to have a C in trace subject standards. So flexible the system is needed to respect the students, because it will affect the students' confession about the this direction of future and the employment and higher education. So in reducing FYP to GCSE and providing opportunities and the structure for students is good approach. Express students' opinions, performance, and feedback. This framework can promote the divisive truth in the curriculum, and specific implementation plans still needs to be adjusted for different region, and provided guidance and improvement direction for the development of GCSE, as well as the support the supportation for future research and development.